you just as much as you need me. I'm very excited about this evening's live, as there's a few things that we're going to go over this evening, and I think it's it's going to be a very positive live. Oh, my door slamming. Hold on. My bad. All right, but it's going to be a very positive live. A lot of information to go into. We only have one little bit of reading that I want to talk about at some point during this live. It'll tie into our XRP Bitcoin pairing, and it's just an article that touches on the fact, very short read, talks about how XRP keeps falling against Bitcoin despite some regulatory clarity, even though we know we still have the lawsuit looming. And we'll talk about with XRP, like I talked about in this morning's update, if anybody watched, that is watching now. Let me go to the right chart. XRP is back testing right now. After we hit the handle support yesterday, we started after 506 hit 50.6 cents. We started to form this. And this was our chance to possibly form a breakout attempt here. And this is what I was talking about in this morning's update. On a successful back test, and now we're farther down, so now you can come down here farther. We don't know where exactly it can happen, but on this move from here, it's going to be about a 3.5 to 4% initial move if it can bounce off bullishly off this. Now it's 53.31 cents. If it holds this right here, it's about a 4% move, so 4%. But if you fall back within here and you get rejected here at like 513, that's going to invalidate the structure unless we come all the way through and then finally break out at the end. But this was a chance to push out of here. Now we're going to end up in oversold here in some of these smaller time frames. So we very well could find a scenario where this could be a W reversal here in the making. So that's something we're going to watch unfold here in the next, as we lead into the daily close here at 8 o'clock. And more importantly, the weekly candle close as well for XRP and crypto at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we could very well bounce off. Otherwise, it's just going to come through, and then you're going to be able to see the continuation down. But obviously, we know very important to hold that 506. It would be nice to hold this back test and build up a little layer here. But it's, we've been bearish. We're in a little bit of a bearish cycle, so we're going to have to break out of it one way or the other. And a breakout doesn't always mean going up. Sometimes you have a breakdown. So, let's see. Also, yes, the Bitcoin pairing, with XRP Bitcoin pairing, I'm going to show everybody. We've gone through this once in the past, but I want to show somebody the start. To me, it's an unbelievable setup right now. If it comes down, it's a build into, because it's coming back down to support. And we'll see. Well, it's not come through support yet at 811. So I'll get into this because I see an opportunity presenting itself here. And it's not going to be one of those immediate satisfaction things. But we need to see exactly how this is going to start to play out of this exact formation to see where the best targeted, if it breaks down and it comes back down to the floor, just for transparency, this is about a 13.9% drop down to 704. Out of this, the technical target's about a 5.2% drop to 766 on the pairing. On a breakup, it's 869, but it's the overall, what's been going on here. Overall, this has come down a ton. And I can go through the history, and I will after we do the intro. So if you are watching, please make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live. I would greatly appreciate it as we're coming down to the weekly candle close. We're also coming on to a very big moment here for XRP in regards to where it's hitting on this short-term pattern back test on this breakout from it. And trying to form a double bottom. Otherwise, there's more pain to come if this doesn't hold. If 507, especially 507 fails, we got big problems. But there is opportunity that seems to be looming here at the XRP Bitcoin pairing as well. And we'll also go into Bitcoin, and we might touch some other altcoins as well. It's going to be very much dependent on the audience. I honestly felt so good about doing this live today, not because XRP is doing good, but because of the information that I can give you and the fact that I think we have something that we can start to dig our heels in as far as the pairing with XRP and Bitcoin. But we'll get into all of that shortly. So good evening. 6:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, April 28th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I once again want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're at a very critical moment here, which at least in the short term, it very well could have come through this short term. We're still in the rising channel, but we've come through 52 cents, as we know. The back half of this has not been the greatest, because we could have very well made this a reversal weekly candle. And right now, we're starting to stress to the bottom side of this. That's going to kind of invalidate this if it keeps coming down here. Because now it's going to be an engulfing to the bottom in the weekly to the downside, and that's not exactly the best news. Again, in the daily time frame, we seem to have not been able to get past here once again at 522 in current times, or 521, but that's the big resistance point here. If we come down, the head and shoulders pattern would bring us down, and because of the technical zone that we broke out of a multi-year rising channel, this can bring us down to 34.9 cents. 34.9 cents. That's why it is absolutely imperative, if we want to have short-term movement to the plus side, that we must hold this formation. And this very well could be a fake out candle here. It could be. So we got to keep our eyes on this to see if this is a back test candle and it's exhausting itself, or if this is just, hey, it's over. But we're here at a very good time here for this live going into the weekly candle close. So there's a lot of information. So let me just see how many people. There's 85 people watching. Spectacular. Thank you all so much for the continued support and showing that due diligence, because believe me, a lot of people in the sector have given up. And honestly, I've never been more positive. The more negativity I see as far as people that are afraid, the more opportunity I see. And the more just... It's from an overwhelming standpoint of a couple different things. Like, we've got the DXY right now. That's going to play into this weekend and going into Monday. That's a big resistance pivot point right there. And if we want this to get rejected here, just so that it wouldn't push up and appreciate the price of the dollar, you'd be looking for a rejection at 106.63 or 23. But the technical resistance up here at 107 spot, right around 107.21 is the formation, but it's hinting that if we push over these pivot points, that we technically on this pattern breakout, the technical target is all the way up at 110. So what does that mean for some other things? It's going to be interesting the way this week starts in a couple different facets, and it's really going to be interesting. It almost feels like to me that XRP is trying to fake us out here, but it's below a multi-year rising channel, which is going to throw some people off. But we could also talk about the multi-year cup and handle. So the fact we're still in that handle support is something. This cup started before the rising channel, so now it could just be back testing this. But that's why it's so important, the current setup. So we'll continue to watch this in the shorter time frames as I go through the comments, and then we'll see what we all feel. We'll go through the XRP Bitcoin pairing because I'm excited to start talking about some not just short-term trading. We're going to buy into this pair. I've already been starting to buy into it, and I'll show everybody what my thought process is. But I'm trying to build in, because I know it's history. It's teasing us with a several 100% move, 300+% on this one. But that's from the breakout point. That doesn't even count from the lower levels. And I'll show you how what's happened in the past history. Now, past price action doesn't always predict future performance, nor does it predict the style of move. But oftentimes, history does repeat itself. Not exactly the same, but in a different variant. So, you know, this is going to be a very exciting live. I'm very excited because it's all that with opportunity. With at the same time, you could be dealing with the fact of a massive breakdown, which makes it even more enticing because a lot of people are going to be overzealous on these sales. But I don't know. I'm going to be watching this closely. I'm up a little bit on the XRP Bitcoin pairing over the past several days of where the buy-ins were. But the intention here is that if it does come down that 5, every single day, remember I did the XRP healthcare from 1.9 to 2.2 to 2.5 to 2.8, bought a tiny bit at 5 when it retraced back, or 4.4, whatever it was. And now I stood pat at 55,000 tokens, getting the 20%, they're paying out a 20% stake. They give you 20% staking over 6 months on XRP Healthcare app. So I'm letting that sit tight now. And now my next venture is XRP Bitcoin pairing in the same way I did that as it was going up and down. Loving the 15% drop days with XRP Healthcare, and loving even more the fact that it's up like 200 and something percent. Well, maybe not 200 now because it's at like 5.1. So 150, 175. But you guys get the picture. So I'm trying to build into the same style thing. I have many different things that go on in my head. And I think this XRP Bitcoin pairing is some untapped potential here. So let me get into the comments. Like I said, I appreciate everybody who tunes in during these high times of uncertainty. We've seen this many times in my 3-year history where people disappear and then they all come back when it's convenient, when the price is going up, but they have no idea of what happened in the recent history to help predict what's coming for the next, the futuristic price action, let's just say. So let me just get through some of the comments. I love talking to the audience, and then we'll get on our way. Kyle wins the moon. Well, you can come up with your own expectation when we go through this analysis. Nobody knows. Nobody knows when the moon is. All we can do is try to find opportunity, friend. JW says, howdy, Tom. Good vibes. Yes, indeed, brother. And thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. See, positivity is something that we must continue to push in this community, not negativity. We need to push love over hate, right? So we want to be helpful instead of hurtful, let's just say. We don't want to push anybody away who has questions, and I don't believe there's any dumb questions you can ask me tonight. There's no dumb question. If you're honestly asking a real question and you're wondering about it, don't hold back. Ask the question. If you have constructive criticism, I implore you to give it. Or if you have something to say, say it. I want everybody to express their views. Kyle, XRP is not dead. It may feel like it because some of the high expectations in the social media world, but it is not dead, I can assure you that. Simon, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Hello, friend. Peyton Shoemake, welcome to Tom's Army in your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Yes, that's my face superimposed on there. I kid you not. And good afternoon, my friend. Joshua and Rob, welcome in. Thank you both so much for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus, or 6 months plus with the XRP predictor. Jorge, good evening. Kyle, I was not, well, I guess you could say I was AFK because I was a couple minutes late. But my son, Julie, was doing something with the other kids. So I was out in the living room with my son, so I had to kind of wait a minute. But XRP is coming through the support, so honestly, we need to make sure that we don't fall through that 506 level. Otherwise, this could get interesting. But remember, weekly candle close. And we're going to start to push into the oversold. So let's just see what's going to end up transpiring here. Something's going to be interesting during this live. I knew we were going to come on in a very interesting time during this live. So we can either even see a breakdown, maybe. We don't know.
The coffee cup to prove it.
Oh, yeah. This is the coffee cup from what somebody made me. See, my face is superimposed on there. That's the emoji badge. What's on that coffee cup is the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens.
It's the best coffee cup.
And as you can see, that's my face superimposed on there. So I'm not lying. That is truly my face superimposed on that badge. Thank you, Julie. And you see, that was a quick tug down, and we're pulling up pretty quickly. So I'm going to be interested to see how this daily closes, or the weekly closes as well. I want to see if we can somehow hold that 513 layer, or close to it. Just hit the like button. Your work is appreciated. Thank you so much for that, my friend. I'll just call you Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that, hitting the like button. Yes, please make sure to hit that like button as well. Jason Setta, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army, along with Tanya May, welcome in, love. And thanks both of you for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. What an awesome honor that is. To have so many people that support. Wow. I love it. Michael Stevenson, welcome in. Along with Light Switch Tom, doing very well, my friend. I hope you're having a blessed end of the weekend here. And thank you both for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XRP Meteor. Della and Mike Oxmells, welcome in. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the weekly dosage of Tom here to save the day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love to end the weekend with a live here as the daily, weekly candle closes and we get back into the week. Mike, welcome in. Brave, XRP to $10. One can only pray. In time. Stouffer, good evening. Mike, Mike says, I don't know what the fuck you're smoking, Brave, but I'll take 2, please. And I'll take 2 as well. That's 6 figures if it gets up there, right? So we'd be very, very pleased about that. Trading with J-Ride, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Yes, hit that like button indeed. John Page, good evening. Messi, welcome in. Yes, daily close in 54 minutes, friend. 54 minutes. The one who sent the smiley face, I cannot read, I don't think that's maybe Chinese. I don't know which language that is, but I appreciate the comment and the smiley face. I can understand smiley. I appreciate that, Chuck. I appreciate you greatly. Sully Mode, welcome in. Welcome in, buddy. James Ingboff, welcome in. Not much, fam. I'm just glad to be here. Just glad to be here doing this live. I feel really good about this live. Some people feel bad when it goes down. I smell opportunity, especially I'm telling you, something's lining up as well. And one could only hope that we could get a bigger correction in the XRP Bitcoin pairing, because it's going to be an explosive move, and every single day I'm going to be putting into it. So I can only hope that it'll drop on the days, before, and then it'll rally later. Every single day so far, it's been good at the bottom of the days. John Hall, good evening. And you're welcome, my brother. Avi says XRP Bitcoin pairing available on BitTrue, FYI. Thank you for that information. Yes, I have to get it on MEXC right now myself. K4 Liberty, thanks for your commitment to the community. You're welcome, my friend, and thank you so much for that $10 donation. I certainly don't expect anybody to send donations on rough days, but my audience always surprises me. So thank you so much for that, K4 Liberty. That's awesome. That pay it forward mentality. Ben B, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. James, welcome. Getting sketchy out here. It sure is. Mark Caston, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens to the moon indeed. XRP Bull Run percentage 8x August 24th today / week max plus 5%. Interesting. We would all take that. We would all take that. Mr. Carter, welcome in. Hashtag M2C, mother second choice. Hope you're doing well in the Outback, Mr. Carter. CJ2 Pilot, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army. I already said that for 6 months, but nonetheless, thank you so much. Jorge, good evening. Mike Stevenson, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months with the XRP Meteor. 3 months plus. So there we go. We got caught up. Bitcoin's down 526 points right now. XRP's down 1.58% to 51 cents. We're currently back through this back test now, so that is unfortunate, unfortunately. Unless, you know what? We fell through that, technically, but is it something larger that I should be seeing now because of what that recent move was? Could we have now started? Hold on, just hear me out for a sec. This is going to kind of create how they do the fan system. I'm just curious about something. I don't know. I don't necessarily like that span. Although, I mean, you could say that it's formed some... Man. Oops. No, I'm just trying to see what this is telling us right now. It's almost like this is a downward consolidation. But that remember we talked about that could possibly be forming here as well. This could be, I want to know if this is an overzealous runoff here, because we are very oversold right now in the shorter time frames. we're getting into where we're going to have to back test here. So we're going to find out a lot here shortly. Because this is this seems, I almost feel like it's trying to tell us this. And now that it created that, we can actually, maybe not even that. Maybe not even that. We'll see. It might even turn into something more here as well. See, this is why I hate the in-between. Because one could even argue, hey, Tom, well, what if it pulls up here? And we don't know because that 30-minute candle is still on a wick. But I guarantee someone's looking at it right now. And even I could, if this candle were to close in the shorter time frame, and they'll say, hey, could we start something like this where the pattern's trying to form? I don't know because it hasn't confirmed that closure of any of these candles yet. But that is something you and I, if you're wondering that yourself, I am also wondering. Because we are very oversold here. And at some point, we're going to have a bounce back. Now, this could be trying to form some kind of bottom, a double bottom. Who knows? It could come straight through. But right now, I have a strong suspicion it's that one moment for a strong bounce back here if it's going to happen. Because we were extremely oversold. The Bitcoin pairing, I'm so excited about this. I can't even explain it to everybody. So we went over a lot of stuff. We'll let XRP do its correction. See if it does, in fact, come back up. Or if it pulls through 506, because that's the most important thing on the handle support right now. And then, obviously, as we watch this evolution here, like we're trying to see, because the short term, it came through. So now we're trying to figure out the entirety of what it's trying to show us. Because for a fact, we can say if we evolve it into this, we have support 1, support 2, and then up top, we've got resistance 1, resistance 2. You could almost say resistance 3, which you could. God, it almost feels like we should, just to give it credit. Like, I feel like that is what it's trying to tell us on the downward. This is interesting. Because if that's what it's trying to tell us right now, you're looking at that. You're looking at that. And that means once 506 breaks, if it does, or 507, it's going to immediately try to touch 50. But I don't know. Something's weird here. Something's weird here. I almost want to say that this is going to prove in. And it's going to prove something like this, and it's trying to start some kind of, trying to start some kind of uptrend. But obviously, we've got no evidence of this. This is in the 5-minute. That's not evidence. Like, is that what could be who knows? We'll see if it breaks through or not. But something is definitely setting up here. And we know the downward consolidation is actually a bullish reversal in the making. So when you look at it from this perspective, support, resistance, support, resistance, coming back. If this is a mid-tier hold, that would be great. And then this is when you get into the expansion and maybe out. Otherwise, it's going to go like this. And if it breaks this, you got big problems. It's already a big problem because the handle supports. I mean, you could come into a big mess here. So, you know, we're going to watch this very closely during this live. Very closely. It stopped on a dime down there around 508, though, which is pretty nice. Now we're going to see this consolidation. Please do make sure to hit that like button. We have 141 people here, so we're making a huge dent in the viewers tonight. I'm honestly stunned. I really thought, and I say this often, but tonight in particular, because we've been struggling with the price action. In my past history with the channel, when we'd get into moments like this, I'd have 50, 75 people. And then it would build back to 150, 200 when we'd get into a more positive time. Now I'm noticing during the negative times, we're pulling 125, 150, 200 people. On the worst of days, 100, which means that there's a lot more integral parts of the community now because a lot of people understand, and if you don't, you're going to start to understand very quickly if you're new to crypto, the most opportune moments are the ones when nobody wants to watch, when it's very bearish. When it's very bearish. And we're going to get into this XRP Bitcoin pairing right now as well, and I apologize for taking so long. So let me get another drink. So the XRP Bitcoin pairing as well is becoming oversold. Again, we've hit this first tier. Just like with the XRP price. If this breaks through, it's going to be no different than the XRP price breaking down a little bit. We know the technical move is down to 766. I have no problem building into this all the way to, I don't even care if it goes to 766. I'm telling you, I'm building a masterful position here. And this pairing, it's out of whack. XRP compared to Bitcoin is out of whack. This whole damn thing is out of whack. In this history on the XRP Bitcoin pairing, and if you're excited about this because you didn't see this angle before, I am also excited because I've never attempted to exploit this angle before. And I told myself a long time ago, if it ever comes back down to this uptrend, I'm exploiting the uptrend. I'm exploiting this. And I honestly think I don't know if I made a fuck up here, or excuse me, a mess up. Because the more I look at this, the more I think maybe, I don't think we did fuck it up though, because it's in that body. But if you take it into the daily, I had a very specific candle that I was working off back here. Because that's the W. So I felt like it needed to come into the body where they met and see, that's why I think that's the exploitation there. This is tricky. Because if you go through there, obviously there's still room to come down. If you come through here, it's already come across. But if you kind of recognize it like this, it's a little different. But I kind of think that's cheating. I don't know though, because when you look at the way this came down, nah, it's not cheating. It's just, it gives it a different look. The other way you can look at this from a weekly perspective, I'm not comfortable doing it like that, so we're not even going to exploit that. The monthly is how I did it. Oh, shit. That's how I did it. That's how it should be. Maybe 1, 2. It did come down a couple other times. But I know I had it like this to kind of represent some of it. Man, that's so tricky. That is so tricky if you're trying to do this. Because you could do it like that as well. But I know I was trying to show this because, and I'm going to keep it how I had it, but I'll explain myself. In the monthly, and I know it doesn't give it as much floor to work with, but if you look at this, we had support 1, and I'll bring the arrow out down here. Support 1. Oh, that's off. Son of a bitch. You can't have it off either. If you're trying to do this, you can't really have this off. I don't necessarily know if I like it like that. Even though I know why I did this, I did it like this. And we wrote it off as a wick. That's what we did too. That's exactly what we did right there. That's what I was doing. We wrote off, so I'll explain this. I gotta fix that probably, but I can't see the top yet. But I understand exactly why I did that. It's good to explain it to the audience. So support here on this wick. This next push up and then down on this wick. And then these two were just overzealous on a push up. But this was still the next one it attached to. Comes through and it hits it again in this area. Now this is another area. It is a slightly uptrending support. So that is why I decided that. Now, when we look at this from a standpoint, and I'm not sure if has anybody who's watching right now looked at this pairing? And I don't know if anybody's commenting or if oh wow, I never turned the comments on. Oh my God. I'm like, I don't really see a lot of comments. I'm so sorry about that, everybody. So on the monthly, as you can see, when we finally had reversals, so when we bounce off of this right here on this support, and this is crazy when you start to look at this, and it takes a long time in between. It went up about 1,000%, right? 1,000%. Took about 5-6 months to finally rotate through. Then after it hits resistance, it takes from January of 2015 until 2017 to have the next breakup. The first breakup, as we know, is over 1,000%. The second breakup is up 2,500%. Now, the next breakup, it took from June of 2017 until, so it took a full year for the next push up. It didn't come oh yeah, it did come down here. This is the third time it hit that support again. First time just over 1,000%, 1,300%, almost 1,400 now that I think about it. Second time almost 2,500%. Third time on the bounce back, and they're very volatile. They happen very quickly. Was 3,200%. Then it took a while, guys. Again, it went from 2017 all the way until January of 21. So about 4 years for the next rally. The next rally wasn't as large, which leads me to believe it's still in the consolidatory phase. And it's been, and we're at the last legs of it starting up. This one went up about 340% roughly. 344%. And this is through consolidation. Now it's taken from 2021 in April. Now it's taken another 3 years until April of 2024. And again, it's at that bottoming area. And it's done it on an uptrending fashion every time. So now, if this is the fourth chapter of this uptrend, we could be heading into a very explosive move here at some point. The only other thing I can see happening, if it's going to break through some of those, maybe we could look at it in the expanded zone, and maybe, just maybe, it could come down to 469 if it's doing something more like that. But I don't know. That doesn't seem right, because that would be, it seems right if it breaks this uptrend. So yeah, it seems right, but what it's building, it seems a little out of place. But it's always good to know the breakdown. So you could be building into it, and I'm all for it if it happens. It's at about 811, we'll just say 807. You're talking about a possible, well, we'll see when it breaks that, because obviously if it breaks that and it was going to build through, we'd want to do something a little different, but we'll see. We'll see, because as of right now, it's showing an explosive area that we're getting very close to. Very close to. And right now, we're in between whether or not we want to sell off here against Bitcoin and put in this head and shoulders. Because if it comes down, I think it's pretty easy to see that we could have a head and shoulders. But you see the 3-year consolidation. So boom. This could be more than just a consolidation, though. This could hold here, and then it could break through. But this is what I wanted to show everybody. It could be forming an inverse head and shoulder as well, which is very interesting. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on. A lot. So, anybody's thoughts? Does anybody have any thoughts on the XRP Bitcoin pairing? Honestly, I want to know. Whoops. Because I find it super intriguing. And it's actually got my blood pumping. All that talk on 589. Just a thought. What do you mean? All that talk on 589? Oh, that's the XRP / Bitcoin pairing. So, if you're on an exchange, you would have to buy Bitcoin, and then you trade the pairing via Bitcoin, via the XRP Bitcoin pairing. But you have to buy Bitcoin first, and then put it into the pairing. Oh, and by the way, everybody needs to take advantage. If you're not on BITUNIX and you're on Uphold, or if you find a similar exchange, if you find one, but it's in the video description below or pinned comments, I'm going to show you something that's going to make you startled if you're on Uphold. Because it pissed me off. And like everybody knows, I got rid of all my funds on Uphold for a reason. But listen to this. And this is right now. Assume you're a bigger, you got a little bit of money. And you're like, all right, I want to buy for a swing trade. I want to buy $4,000 in XRP right now, right? I want to buy $4,000 in XRP on Uphold. So $4,000 gets you 7,367 XRP. Just hear me out, because this was startling. You go to BITUNIX, and if I want to buy XRP for $4,000 right now, so BITUNIX, trade $4,000. I get 7,000, listen to this, 7,840 XRP on BITUNIX for $4,000. On Uphold, it wants to give me 7,365 XRP. That's 500 differential, ladies and gentlemen. 500. So 500 XRP difference times 0.051, or 0.51, I mean not zero, is $255. That's a $255 on $4,000 that you got to pay out of pocket. On BITUNIX, it was $1.75 is the differential if you're talking about a fee. Like, that is ridiculous. Honestly, Uphold ought to be ashamed of themselves because they have no excuse anymore. Because they, oh, that's what I was saying. If it loses this short term, we could go all the way back down to the bottom on the Bitcoin pairing, and that's almost a 40, that's just over 40% drop. That's what I was alluding to, if it did break through. But yeah, it's just staggering that it could be that big of a difference. If it could be that big of a difference. So, in the video description below and in the pinned comments, there's BITUNIX. They have the lowest spot and leverage trading fees I've seen. It's over a 500 XRP differential from BITUNIX to Uphold right now on $4,000. It's unbelievable, if you ask me. And I did it yesterday, and I showed Julie, and she's like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, it's ridiculous. And yeah, if it dumps here on the XRP Bitcoin pairing, which it very well could lose this support, the next area of hold could be around there. So if it breaks this hold, well, I bought, my average right now is 80, what is it, 80, that was 8. It's got to be right around that same area. Because that was Monday, it came through on Thursday. Because the plan is if it doesn't hold this and it's starting to taper off, just to get rid of it and then buy it down here again. And then if it tapers off, obviously we have the technical target to see if it doesn't hold this. So it's very dicey. I'm just saying, open your eyes to this potential here. We're looking for this, for a correction if it happens as well, though. That's why I said if you're going to do it, I would more look down here, because it is coming up, and if it breaks this, unless you get it on the top and it bounces out, obviously it's different. But I really like what's setting up here. I know it's got a breakdown here, form what looks like an inverse head. This could come down here, or this consolidation can end up breaking out. We don't know. But I know it looks like a small upward consolidation here, which it is. But if you look at the farther totality of the pattern, it's on a very down descending pattern. This is such a big descending channel. It's scary. Scary. Because eventually this is going to have a massive bullish reversal. They always do. They always do. Yeah, XRP right now, until 508 breaks, you can be bullish, but or 507, but if that handle breaks, it is bearish. It's not even the most bullish. Look at that. That's come down for a long time here. This is, I mean, even from here, see how this happens and you go and then bounce out and then you're eventually going to get that same kind of bounce. That's an overextended. It eventually gets some kind of bounce for, you need a relief rally. You always need a relief rally. You definitely need a relief rally. This XRP Bitcoin pairing is something to leave. This is leaving a lot to be desired here. I want to actually look at this a little more minutely here, to be honest. I'm going to take apart the very short term and just see something. I can put it back together. You all see what I was speculating. But I want to look at this from a little bit farther out. And I hope everybody's having a great Sunday evening. Don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ here as well. As we're trying to be unified, not divisive or divided. But we also want to be humble in our ways. So I'm trying my best here to keep this transparent. and try to show everybody what I could be seeing here, or what we could be seeing play out. So if we look at this just from the short perspective, we've got something like this, right? So that's what we're going to be looking for on the very short here. So this is how we know if it's going to be able to hold this consolidation, or if it's just going to break down, and then we'll come from right here, and you've got something like this. It already once tried to break down, but it bounced back within. So, you know, this is the short-term consolidation right now. A little V-shaped recovery, it looks like. Kyle Kupiak, welcome in. Cape Cod Kyle from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Not Florida. Julie, do you want this? How's he doing?
He was just out in the living room, pulled me and Scarlett onto the couch, and then I
Oh, he wanted to sit again? Not as cold as I thought. My drink. They're not as cold as I thought.
Why not?
I don't know, maybe because I took too long to drink it. I grew up hunting and eating morel mushrooms. I never found any morel mushrooms, but they sound delicious. Yeah, we have morel mushrooms around us.
I've never had one though.
We used to hunt them with my dad.
Forage.
Mark Caston says, hello, Julie.
Forage.
Whatever, we used to forage. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at with the XRP Bitcoin pairing in the short term. Longer term, obviously, we've got a big downtrending resistance playing out. But it's overdue. We're becoming to the point where it's going to be overdue here. And one way or another, something's going to have to give way. I mean, even if we give up, and we start looking at it from just the current pattern and the consolidation, you know, you've got something like this. It could even be breaking a little bit like this. But, I mean, you're forming some kind of downward. So, we'll see. We'll see exactly how this has its intentions of playing out. But I know for a fact that at some point, this is going to have one of those... It's going to be a much more volatile move than XRPs will be as a whole against the pairing. This always has these crazy volatile spikes. Insane. And a lot of times it's in a day when XRP is up 20-25% and Bitcoin's consolidating. It happens a lot that way. And then you get these unexpected rallies as well. So that's basically what I got for the XRP Bitcoin pairing. XRP right now is at 511. That's lower than I would like to see it here heading into the daily close. We're still above the handle support, but we do leave a lot to be desired here when it comes to the short-term movement. We do know when we looked at this, if it's in the 5-minute, we were speculating. Oh, wait a minute. We don't have to speculate. 30-minute candle close now. Excellent. So this is the speculation if you did create some kind of bottom. That 30-minute candle close, that's what we were waiting for. It just closed 3 minutes ago. But look how oversold we are. I would be shocked if we don't get some kind of reversal after the close. At least short term. No, not XRP. Not XRP. I didn't say XRP 300%. I said the XRP Bitcoin pairing. Not XRP price. The XRP Bitcoin price. They're pairing. If it goes up 300% on the pairing, it doesn't mean that XRP's price has to go up 300%. But yeah, MC Prosperity. Yeah, that's what I'm trying. That's why I was showing the XRP Bitcoin pairing. No, don't be sorry. Somebody had to ask the question. Somebody had to ask the question, because I don't usually go that deep into the pairing. Yes, XDC is a great coin. And yeah, the only reason I told everybody not to buy it Friday is because we made a swing trade from last Friday to Tuesday where we made 13%. And then on Friday last week, or Thursday and the Friday, it was just a quick 5 to 7% depending on where you sold it. And everybody was asking me Friday during the live if they should buy it back at 3.99 cents. And I said, absolutely not. And right after the live, a few hours later, it dropped 9%. So there was a reason why I told everybody not to buy it there. Now, it is starting. We're at a pivot layer. So, I mean, is that an opportunity? Maybe. But it's dangerous. The XRP Bitcoin pairing does mean a lot. I think it does. I watched, oh, I gotta see what that says. I would love to see, I gotta read that comment because that was a lot of money it looked like. I watched the damn whale move 400,000 into a meme coin today and already made 27 million. I'm just sick watching it. My friend, they might have made 27 million. Did they? Now, they could have easily lost all of that, but if they're a whale, they understand probably what's going on. But at the same time, have they sold any of it out yet? Or is it paper money right now? You don't know how often I see this kind of stuff happen. And then when you try to sell out that amount of money, it comes down exponentially. Probably still made a lot of money. But that's the high risk, high reward nature. But yeah, XDC, it's tough because this could be forming a head and shoulders pattern. That's why that support line is so important. If it breaks through that, I mean, right now it's a disaster. It'd be a bigger correction to become. But this is right down at support. So, and remember how we always talk about these sneaky bull flags after drops? Is it possible XDC is just way behind XRP? Remember when XRP had the drop to 40, came back up, created this and went up to 54? Could this be XDC's way to come back and retest 397? This doesn't seem like a bad spot necessarily. It's just you got to get some confirmation to see if it holds that area. XRP, 23 minutes to go. Let's see. I bought all that XRP I felt comfortable with, and now I'm dollar cost averaging in more every day. My goal is 50,000 XRP. That's why I'm subscribed. Excellent. So you'll be able to see even if we have corrections, you know the levels. Right now, though, the obvious danger is the fact that has formed a head and shoulders pattern, and we got rejected at the rising channel resistance. As of right now. We don't know how it's going to play out going into the next weekly candle. But I can tell you we've ended very bearish on this weekly. It could have been a very nice reversal candle this week. Let me move this so you can see. This could have played out as a very nice reversal. Now it leaves a lot to be desired. It leaves a lot to be desired here. And there's only 22 minutes until the daily close now. So for me to say, oh, it's gonna be able to, you know, take all this back. No, it's not. We're just being realistic. But it is starting, like I said, it is starting to push into some kind of oversold here. So now we're going to have to look at this short-term formation that's formed. And we'll be able to see if and when it breaks out. Now, I mean, it's hinting at a little bit more if it has to keep pushing here. This isn't necessarily what you want to see here. Because every single time it has a chance to push out, it's come back through. Now we formed this short-term consolidation that just started on Thursday. And we can see how it formed. It's not this. It's out here. But the more it keeps trying to press this, and especially because it's the 28th, we all know what looms. Something, yeah. But it's May. What was it? May 1st or May 2nd is when that first had to be in. Bollinger Band around 456. Okay. So that could make sense coming down there. Like this is teetering on dropping, so let's pay attention here. I'm just curious in the immediate short term because we did push ourselves into quite the oversold in the smaller time frames. So typically it come down here, probably hurt the longs. Now there's going to find an opportune moment here for the shorts to get liquidated. That's way up there, though. So at some point, we're going to get a volatile. We might even get a correction back up and retest. I don't know. But we're going to get some volatility here. We're going to get some volatility for sure here going into the 8 o'clock hour. And then right after, as we're heading into a new trading week. Even though crypto never sleeps, we're going into a new trading week in the regard of crypto the weekly candle closes in 20 minutes. And XRP's not done itself a favor here at all. The only thing you could say with the weekly candle is that XRP, you know, but even where it closed, this closed down here at 50 cents. It's not the worst thing in the world, because you could get a, I don't know, we're just going to have to, we're going to have to see how this closes. And we're going to have to see how it starts out on the next daily candle to start the week. Right now, it's a little dicey. It's okay. It's okay to be a little dicey. This is how it works in the world of trading. Sometimes you got to be patient. You know, sometimes we just got to watch. You know, nothing happens overnight, but we're definitely getting a lot of clues here. It's very imperative that, like, we could be at a floor zone because 507 is the handle support. So at the end of the day, we've always got to remember this handle support. And look how it's going to close the weekly above that handle support. So that's actually pretty important. That's pretty important. Like, I don't even care for this short-term stuff here. Just this handle support. If we're looking at it in a higher time frame. This handle support is holding on a cup and handle. So at least going into the weekly candle close, we've done ourselves justice. Remember what I said when the week started? As long as we close above 508 roughly, 507 depending on where you look at it, we should be fine, because then we've only had weekly wicks that are below the handle support. So that could be deeming a fake out, but you know, there's so much to this. There's so much to this right now. So for someone to be like, is it going up or down? Well, it's trying to signal downward right now, but it's never broken through the key support and held it. So until it does, you can't just concretely say, oh, it's going down. You know, even if you want to, you can't just be like, oh, it's going down. You can't do it, because it's still got the overriding sense or the factor here that it hasn't broke major support. The one thing that makes me curious is what's going on with Ethereum. I know there were some rumors of an ETF announcement, but Ethereum seems to have bounced back pretty nicely in this consolidation and pushed back up to resistance. So I feel like a lot of times Ethereum or Bitcoin will front run what's going to happen with the rest of the market, and then we start to see it. So I don't know. The market's almost teasing like this is a fake out. I can't help that gut feeling, even though it could very well be wrong. It's just I need to see this break this level at 507. It's like it's so close. Why can't it just break it and hold it all of a sudden? It's like every time we come down here, the sellers are scared. Or you get just enough buyers to come in to stop it from the next move down. So as we await the close, we have XRP Healthcare. It's been up and down today. Up and down, left and right. This has a death cross here in the 15-minute, but I don't really pay attention to that. The hourly's teasing a semi-reversal, but, you know, I would like this to come down to like 509, ironically. I would love to see it come down at the last 17 minutes, just about another 1% here, so that it makes it more like a long leg doji, but it's almost teasing it. We're at key support. This is the pattern support right now, so if it's going to hold it, it's either going to hold it there or it's going to start dropping down. The next real support's at 446. Technical target on a drop down is back around 29. So Ethereum will pass Bitcoin soon. No, I don't believe that. I believe Ethereum at some point here, you know, anybody who's got stuff in Ethereum is going to lose a lot of money. Anybody who's in Uniswap and Ethereum and all that, because they're the next one to be under the watch. Well, they are under the watchful eye right now of the SEC and, you know, the whole security thing. Jake, no problem, man. Have a good one. I appreciate that you appreciate the content. I do. Makes me happy. And then XRP Healthcare, if it did pop up, even if it broke out, we would still have to watch whether or not it would form a Batman top if that were to play out. So even if it did break bullish, we would still have to watch the illusion of a double top forming. So there's a lot to watch in a lot of these patterns. Gold right now, for anybody who likes gold, it's down $2 an ounce at $2,355. Gold actually, again, just like a lot of our crypto, ironically, what is going on here? Gold is at a very important, getting back to a very important level here. We'll see if we can push past or if it's going to break down. But gold has had an incredible run here over the last few weeks. But with the further expansion of inflation, we could very well continue to rally. It just, with all the news that keeps coming out, gold against the dollar, we could have a pullback if gold does, or I mean if the dollar pushes up very volatilely, short term, but nobody's letting this fail right now. Every time it starts to come down, you're getting buyers. Now, what I am noticing could be forming, and it's just a trend that could be building, and it's not to be like, oh my God, it's dead. But I mean, you could have a trend forming if it breaks down, right? I mean, that's something that's there. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I see it. But we do have a reversal candle possibly here. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm going to be interested to see how the precious metals market plays out this week. Because we could be having a topping reversal there. If you look at it from the farther time frames, obviously a lot to be desired here still for more move up here in time. So that's what I'll be looking for there. And then with B2 Gold this week, I'm excited because earnings are going to be starting here, not this week, but next week. We know Newmont went up about 16% after earnings because now it's going to be valued at the new gold price. So I think they're going to surprise in earnings. And I think we're going to start to rally surprisingly here. Going into earnings, I think some are going to start buying because earnings are on May 7th for B2 Gold. We got back in again at $2.52 this time. We've been in and out left and right. We made good money on this from $2.44 to $2.98. It did go up to $3.07, but I didn't feel the need to sell it until $2.98 because it showed the sign of fail. It made some good money on the first time around, and over like $1,500. And then this time, I'm looking at it now to see if it's worth holding or if we're going to have to bail, but we've got room. We got room this time because we don't have to worry until $2.49 for fail. And then if it falls through there, then we know we'll get a cheaper price at $2.29. I don't like to hold these. They're dividend paying stocks, but I only like to hold them during the rally or during the consolidation and when I know it's on a consistent move. I don't think this isn't on a consistent move, but with the way the stock market is, nothing's certain. Right now, the dividend on B2 Gold is about 6.3%, so remember that. First Majestic is another one that it seems like it's getting stronger. It had a nice consolidation. Closed the week. This and B2 Gold closed on an engulfing candle. So, and this has earnings on May 8th. So we'll see how this goes. The estimate's minus 0.048. I have a strong suspicion they might beat it as well because look at the gold prices now. The last time they did this for earnings, gold prices were way down compared to where they are. And silver, especially for First Majestic, silver's gone up exponentially since the last earnings. So moments of opportunity. I love the moments of opportunity. And like I say, scared money don't make money, but you also got to be very protective of the money because you don't just want to lose it just because you're not being scared. You're not trying to prove anything. You're trying to watch the technicals, and once they give way, you're like, oh, sometimes it costs you a few dollars. But like all of crypto looks like it could be coming down. I mean, look at this. A lot of this looks like this is dangerous. This is dangerous right now. It's very fucking dangerous. It's like, how many different ways can we look at this right now? It's right at the handle support. For anybody who's just tuning in, this is the cup and handle. And the yellow line on the downtrending resistance just right here. This just signifies mid-tier handle support or resistance. And then above it's the true resistance based on the actual wick tops. So that's this is as good as we can go. This is as good as we can see. And we can make our own educated and informed decision here based on what we see in front of us. But I'm not going to try to direct it in a way just because we want it to go somewhere. And then with Bitcoin, we're down 0.55% or $356 at $63,065 on the day. And we have this uptrend that's still intact, which is nice. But Bitcoin, just like XRP, is doing itself an injustice. It would have helped us if we were up over 64.4 right now. But we are not. So we haven't exactly broke down all the way. Oh yeah, this weekly candle was horrific. The only thing is though, you start to look at it, and you know sometimes you gotta look between this, you know, between all the noise. What do they always say about volume predicts price? Look at that volume on the way down. That doesn't exactly instill confidence that we're going to continue moving down, you know, in a big way. 185 million in the daily, 140, 107, 82. I mean, this is coming down precipitously, 20% per day less volume. So that oftentimes signals a sneaker reversal could be at play. In the weekly, let's take a look. In the weekly on the big drop candle, and look on the push up candles, this also tells a lot. We had 2.4 billion, 3.482 billion. On the way back down, we had 1.4 billion, 1.85 billion, 1.59 billion, and even with some downward pressure again on this one, after it started pushing up, 1.2 billion. So this is interesting. Yes, the SEC reply is due tomorrow. They had a 3-day extension granted. That's why Ripple is allowed, I believe, to respond on May. It's either May 1st or May 2nd they can respond, because they have to wait, I think, 48 hours. But there's supposedly a big announcement to come for XRP this week. We're already over an hour, but I don't feel like ending, so we're not ending at an hour. Just FYI. So everybody who's here, I thank you. If you guys will stick around for a sec, I'm going to go get a joint so that we can relax going into the close. So if you would, just pay attention, and I'll be right back. I'll put it on the chart so you can watch this going into the daily close. It's going to take me less than 3 minutes likely, because I do it very quickly. So just pay attention to XRP here. I can even put it in the 1 minute if you guys are interested in. So let me go do that, because I don't want to leave yet. I'm not ready to leave yet. So let's put this back on the cup and handle support so everybody can see. So this uptrending yellow line is the handle support, so just pay attention. You want it in the 1 minute? Yep, I'll put it in the 1 minute. So here's the 1 minute. Possible W reversal forming. All right, everybody. Let's see how many people stayed. I really apologize. I just didn't feel like leaving yet. I just didn't feel like leaving yet. Yeah, all those levels are important. My 50, yeah. I mean, that's within range. My just for me, my most important level right now and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That mid-tier, or that handle support on the cup and handle, that is my most important level right now. It's proved that level. It's proved this handle. I would hate to see it invalidate the handle, even though you can argue that it could not invalidate it and you would just stretch it out longer, but I don't like to do that. I don't like to play that game, because if you're breaking the area, there's a reason why. So it's very, very, very dicey here. But it's very dicey. That's all we're going to say. It's very dicey. It's all very dicey. That almost looks like a bull flag forming on the XRP Bitcoin pairing, doesn't it? Does that look like a bull flag forming? Or maybe like a pennant flag? Ooh, maybe that's a pennant. No, I don't know if it's a pennant. Man, that kind of looks... I didn't really look at it like this while we were live. That we could be forming something here. Even if it comes down here to this support, I don't know though. You'd really want to stay in there. I don't know. That could be forming something. See, something's forming. Three-hourly, we start pulling down as we see. That's why we started to have this downward movement. We might be coming down to the uptrending support. We could be building a head and shoulders. You know, that's what I'm saying. We don't fucking know. We had a bullish cross in the 3-hourly. 2-hourly got smacked down. Let's see in the shorter time frame. 15-minute, we're still kind of getting beaten down. We're so way oversold, though, in these short time frames now. That is what she said, JW. But we are getting beaten down. We're beaten down. We're absolutely getting beaten down here. Makes me curious. Makes me anxious. Not in a bad way. It makes me anxious in a good way. Oh yeah, I hit the pairing thing on accident. Look what, the Bitcoin pairing disappeared, or the XRP Bitcoin pairing disappeared. But that'll be a nice evolution to our show, because we'll watch the XRP Bitcoin pairing more. And we'll be, wow, 147. Thank you all so much for sticking around. Tanya, if you're still here, let's look at this real quick for H-bar. H-bar's consolidating is the best we can say still. Man, it's good. Everything's right up at their key support areas on their structures. Everything. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And look at H-bar. Do we think it's coming straight down, or is this going to form a reversal to retest, or is this just coming straight through now because it was kind of, I don't want to say it was fake news, but it wasn't the news that they were leading it on to be about H-bar with BlackRock and yada. There was some truth to it, but not the whole truth. Oh yeah, you have to hold XRP. Like for me, this is still the accumulation phase. So I don't care if it goes down, I'm buying more. You know, that's just the way I'm approaching it. And I don't mean a swing trade. I mean buying more so that it can be stacked up in my wallet. They sure will. MC Prosperity, it's starting to happen too. If you look sneakily across the board, there's some in this last run. They were up like 700-800%. They've come down 50% from pre-run numbers on some of these meme coins. It's insane. It's insane. Gala is up. It's at 4558. It's had a struggle on the weekly close, just like the rest. I mean, okay, now it comes down to interpretation. Does anybody consider that kind of like a 75% inverted hammer candle, or 70%, or do you consider that a gravestone doji style candle? That's the only question you have to ask yourself. Oh shit, SHX. Thank you for bringing that up. I was actually talking to FE4 Life about this yesterday. We actually talked about this, and this is on MEXC now, so that's interesting you brought it up. But we actually talked about this yesterday, the two of us. It's had a volatile consolidation. Man, from those first areas after the push up. And it even filled that. What bothers me is I didn't listen to myself. It filled that target up and hit it on. It's not even that I didn't trust myself. I just wasn't paying attention to it. But I mean, we're on an up trending. We're uptrending right now, that's for sure. And for anybody who doesn't know, SHX is on the Stellar. That's all part of the XLM blockchain. Oops. This is what I think. It's something like this. Like when I looked at it, I'm like, this could be. It's definitely in an ascending fashion. Now, I mean, technically ascending isn't exactly what you want, because if they break down, it's a nightmare. But it is on the. It does look to have a nice inverted hammer candle here in the 4-hourly. That's for sure. Looks. I wonder how it looks in the weekly. Ooh, that's a reversal that's trying to take place in the weekly. Where's this at? $679. So let's. You don't really see many of those around here. If you have time, hey brother, could you check out ICP? Get in at 290. You got in, or are you telling us to get in? SHX though, I mean, that's a very interesting one. I'll be watching to see how this plays out here in this formation, honestly. We'll see. If one like this had a massive breakdown, I would definitely be interested in SHX. That's one that that's definitely one. Slight pop coming. I think we could have a little bit of a move here coming. Remember I said when we had the close, it felt like it was showing a little more of a short-term bullish narrative than bearish. But like, if you have a plan, don't be afraid to execute your plan, ladies and gentlemen. Even if it seems a little hard, every time you buy into the market, you've got to pick a spot, remember. So as long as you understand what you're buying into and you've got the capital to buy as it drops, and you don't do it at a top, like right now we're very much at lows. XRP, even though it's at 51 cents, it's not $3.50. It's not $1.98 from 2021. It's not even $1. It's not even 75 cents. It's 17 cents higher than where I bought. And yeah, 17 cents, it's $1,700 differential on 10,000 tokens. It's not, you know, $14,000 difference like in 21. Or a $29,000 difference like in, you know, 2017. There's a lot of differentials here. Like, we're in the cents now. So you got to find the areas that make sense. Otherwise, if you're too afraid to make a move, you watch the move go, and then eventually you get that overwhelming fear that you missed out, and that's when people make the bad buy. They don't intentionally make it, but they have that fear of missing out. Does anybody see what I see with XDC possibly? Is this some bitch starting to set up like XRP did, and it's going to have that short-term push? Like, is this... And that doesn't mean it can't come down a little bit first. I'm just saying, at some point, does this seem like it's doing what XRP did the other week, last week? How XRP had that quick drop-off, formed this, it consolidated all the way down, and then did this. Now it double bottomed where it's at if it holds. Looks like a reversal on the 15 could be taking... Oh, yeah. Definitely got a reversal on the 15-minute taking place. I'm telling you, that is way too overbought right now in the short term. I don't know, I just feel like opportunity is starting to present. And it's because a lot of people they're done. The more I see people giving up, the more excited I get. The negative spin right now is crazy. It's what I dream of. It's what I dream of. You know, I want everybody to be looking at it like, this shit sucks. I don't want to buy it. Oh yeah, the ISO tokens are where it's at. And the IoT, don't forget about the IoT tokens as well, my friend, please. Ooh. That hurts. Okay. Kicked in the heart. No. No, yeah, XRP is the one that I'm not looking to sell because it's never had a run. Like everything that I got rid of was up 200 to 300%, and then it's just about what's the next plan. You know? XRP healthcare is an exception because that's when I built into it. Now I stay because I know it's still very, very early in the process. I didn't know I was going to be up almost 200% this quick, but you know, it was a good way for me to stop buying into it after 55,000 tokens, because after it shot up past 3 cents, it made it hard. When I started buying at 1.9 cents, once it gets over 3, it's like, well, now it looks a little different. What else to look at here? Oh yeah, the total crypto market cap would probably be a great where to start. Total crypto market cap, nice reversal on the 15. It's going to have to retest this. This is what I was trying to say. Even if we're bearish, we're going to have to retest. Like, that's a death cross in the 15. 30 minutes attempting it. So if you had a quick reversal, you might be able to come back through eventually. The hourly could be overzealous, but you can see the M. So you got to be very careful here. If it doesn't pull through quickly back to the up direction, that could form an M topping reversal. However, we've seen it a billion times as well when you get to and then it just pulls up and you're like, well, where the fuck did that W come from? How didn't I see that? Right? So we have to be careful. Either way, when you trade, we just want to have all angles covered. And then as it starts playing out, we feel like we're ahead because we've got it covered. We've got it covered. That's the best way to put it. So, hour and 17 minutes. Beautiful. So any thoughts here, ladies and gentlemen? Any thoughts on what we're seeing this evening? Any thoughts on what you think is going to happen with the market? Hell, any thoughts of the XRP Bitcoin pairing? Because I would like to have a more short-term setup here as well. I know we have the longer term, but I'd also like to, you know, make this... Actually, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Because we came from here... We also came from here. Yeah, see, I think this, like this, that flat support, that's why I had it like that before, so I would know. Because that's what tells me if it's going to break through there and then go to the bottom. So, but man, that became very, in the very oversold areas in the 15. You should have some kind of bounce back here. So I'm going to put this short-term pattern on. I said I'd take it off earlier just so we could see easier. But I still need to see what's going on for my own personal, what I'm doing. So, it's been testing that support. That support holds. It's probably going to have a volatile pushback up. But it's short. This is a short-term setup. The top of this right now is at 818. Wow, Ronnie, thank you so much. I don't cut you much. But next train on me, can't wait. Oh, let me see what that says. I appreciate that. Is anybody else intrigued by the XRP Bitcoin pairing, or is it just me? Can't wait till the 22nd of May so Pika Moon Phase 1 sells off. Then it bombs away. Thanks for all, Tom. Glad to be able to catch you. It's been a few. P.S. Be patient. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for the $20 donation. And yes, Pika Moon. I know they're being listed on another exchange shortly here. But you expect the next sell-off phase to be May 22nd, because that's what I'm waiting for, this sell-off, because you can see it's got to come down. Because I myself, I'm going to get into it at some point, but a lot of the streamers I noticed started pushing it, so I did a little back research, and they got a little incentive to push it. So... But Ronnie, What is your price range, or what is your understand? I know it's going to be a decent pump there with that one, so you're going to want to get into it before that's listed. So the question is, what is the date of that listing? I can't remember what I seen, but I am familiar with it because that's one that I brought up to the community a long time ago. Before it got listed on MEXC, I was bringing it up. And then I told everybody I wouldn't buy it on the MEXC listing because it was going to have a volatile sell-off, which it did, because you got the phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 holders. So if I'm not mistaken, the next one's going to be the chance for the phase 3 holders to sell. But I believe that has to be at the 0006 level, the 2 level. The first one was the 6, or 002 to 004 to 006 with a bunch of zeros, obviously. So there is potential on every phase. It's just you got to sit through it. I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting, that whole dynamic. I'm not sure. I just know I'm selling what I bought after launch before the 22nd. What's on the 22nd? I don't understand what's going on the 22nd. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's what I was talking about. When is the phases? I couldn't remember which phase. I knew one was coming up. Yep, okay, so 002. So if they can sell, I mean, yeah. So what do you anticipate to happen? Do you expect a big buildup going into that, or do you expect it to start dropping off going into that on May 22nd? Because is May 22nd when it gets listed on the next exchange? Because if that's the case, you're going to want to hold it into the listing, and then you'll want to sell it on the pump on that exchange listing. I'm sure you already know what you're doing because you've already talked about it. But that's what I would do. And if I get the right information from you, I might buy in before the lead up. That's one of my secret ones that I watch, that I really like watching, which should be in the gaming tokens. Used to be in. Ooh. Well, that doesn't look terrible. I mean, in the short term, that looks like it's trying to reverse a little bit. I don't know. This is definitely going to have a buildup going into it, it looks like. That looks like it could have a nice bottom here. Look at that. That's a perfect double bottom form. Like a little bit slightly declined as well. Well, I guess you're talking about this at the right time. We'll see. We'll see. Because going into May 22nd, you're going to expect some volatility. Expect on the listing of the exchange. I mean, look at this when it got listed here. I remember when this happened on MEXC back in the end of March. And it shot up big time. It came all the way up here. I remember when that happened to 0048. And then I just remember it, and it consolidated a lot. But it looks like it's hitting, it could very well be hitting some kind of floor here. Or it's going to keep this downtrending, or this, it's got like a little channel formed here. If you start looking at it. On the longer term, it's like this. And then the resistance on the longer term, like this is what I would look at. This is how I would look at it. So if we're looking at a possible breakout, and then you look at, so you have that, but now it's given you enough to where you can say, okay, maybe we've started the expansion, which is where it starts to break out on an asset. So if it gets into this, now all of a sudden you've created a new floor. And it's very important to establish those moments. So, and if it plays back to the true top, I mean, you could have a pump up here, and that's pre-breakout. How much room is that? Yeah, see, there's some room on there, a lot of room. It's definitely inverted. Look at this right here. This is an inverse head and shoulders. I think that's what you're speaking to. Right here, you've got that inversion starting there as well. Overall though, look at this. Boom, I mean, if that played out properly, you've also got a double bottom forming there as well. I don't know, this looks pretty interesting now, doesn't it, everybody? I mean, look how it's setting up. A lot of people lost money after the listing, but you're not buying it at the listing. Look, it already came down. Look how much some people lost after the listing. 70%. See it getting back to 022 to 025. I could definitely see 022 based on what I'm seeing right here. 021. So yeah, the 0021 I could definitely see with what I'm seeing right here. When is that breakout going to happen? That's anybody's guess. The weekly leaves a lot to be desired because it's an engulfing to the downside, which means it very well could form to a support again, a support hit. But just, I'll pay attention to it. I'll watch it. I'm going to add it. It's back on here. And then if we look at a longer history, because it's been on, oh, wait a minute. I think it was listed on BitUniX and MEXC at the same time. That's what it was. And then on Bitmart, I know you get not at, it's just this little bit of a weekly. So, I mean, you can see it looks like it's building into something. It does. It looks like an inversion, like that inverse head and shoulders is built. You can see it a little bit better here, I think. Because it comes down like this. If it pulls up, I mean, there's a health. I think this has a healthy recovery. See, people are probably buying in right now because of that listing that's coming up. Is it May 22nd, the list? Is that the listing when they can sell? Is that on the listing? I can't remember. Let's see. I'm going to look it up. I need to know. And then I'm getting close to leaving. I'm sorry, guys. It's been an hour and a half. But I'm not leaving just yet, but I can feel that I need to go inside because the kids have school in the morning. Hey, Pika will be having staking as well. Oh, right here. Oh no, that's not it. Where's it at? I know I just seen. I'll have to do more research. Too bad that I'm not all up to privy on this. But I watched the video when the guy was from Pikamoon was talking about this new exchange that's gonna sex listing. Okay, that was already April 22nd on the sex, so I'll have to do more research here. So anyhow, that's Pikamoon. I did that for somebody in the audience, so hopefully that helps. But there's definitely an inverse pattern forming there. There is no doubt about that. There's definitely an inverse pattern. Slight movement here, not much. Not much here since the flip. Got that M. 2 hourly doesn't look great. 45 starting to reverse a little bit. 30-minute, same thing. This 30-minute could be the start of a reversal. If we can get this to pull up to like 513, 15-minute engulfing, so we're definitely starting to correct up a little bit. Expect short-term correction to the upside. How far it goes? Well, if we get rejected at 52.20, that could cap any upside. In the 15-minute, if you get rejected at 51.40 area, that could cap any upside. So, we just got to watch and be patient. Just got to watch and be patient. If you're watching and you're new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it if you stick around if you want to see some more content. Make sure to hit that like button, but everybody did. We have 150 plus likes. Still 119 people sticking around. But then for anybody sticking around, I haven't showed you Peter Schiff in a while, but he had some a nice message here. So if you're watching, I will do this. Let's see. I like watching the Guru. He makes me laugh. Hey, oh yeah, Biden. He talked about Biden with the new cap. So this isn't. That's what it was. This is important. Because what do we always talk about? The capital gains, right? With crypto. Biden wants to raise it to 40%. And the worst part is, and this isn't, let me be clear about this. This isn't Biden. This is central banks doing the work. They all run the same game. Democrat, Republic, doesn't matter. Biden just happens to be the face right now. But not only do they want to go after capital gains, if you're in the USA, they want to go on after unrealized gains. So if you have a trade that you have $10,000 in, and it's up, let's say 30%, you're up $3,000, they want to tax you on that capital, the unrealized gain. Now, what if you lose it and you never realize the gain and you still have to pay taxes? That's unconstitutional. It is unconstitutional. So everybody needs to be aware of what's transpiring here. So I'm gonna not say a lot more because I don't want to get in trouble. Like JW said, be careful. But pay attention to what Peter Schiff's saying. If you're a trader, investor in crypto, you need to know what's happening. And most people will leave. I want to see, because you'll all see how crazy it is. There's 112 people here. We'll see. Nope, 118 people. 118 people. We'll see how many people leave before this video ends in 6 minutes. Because Peter Schiff talks about how they're going to try to raise the capital gains tax to 40%. So pay very close attention to this. And they want to try to go after unrealized gains, which is unbelievable. And follow Peter Schiff. He's got 577,000 subscribers. He's grossly undervalued. And I'm not telling you to watch him for crypto, but he's grossly undervalued. And other than that, I'll be back right after this. We're going to watch this together. By the way, look at my hair, folks. And I thank everybody who always says my hair is nice and I got a lot of hair and yada. But this is, I promised everybody in the audience, if you're new, I would not cut my hair until XRP hit $1. This was July. Actually, you know what? I like that shampoo and conditioner. I bought a lot. I haven't even seen it. I just used it today. Holy crap. I really like how that looks. I sound like a woman, but that's okay. But I said I wouldn't cut my hair until it hit $1. And that was in July of last year. So we're going on August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. It's going on 10 months now in May. So, but I turned 40 in December, and my dad's balding. My brother, old Vincenzo's balding. I'm just blessed to have hair like this. So, you know, and I've dyed my hair different colors. This time I did black because my natural hair color is normal black, but our youngest, or our middle one now, always tells me different colors, and that's why sometimes you'll see me with like a purple tint or a blue tint or red. I don't care, whatever she tells me. So I appreciate it, everybody who loves the hair. And I always tell people, if XRP goes down, I can just do this. I don't have to see the chart. So it's either I'm going to cut my hair when it hits $1, or I'm going to keep it until we get to all-time highs, and Julie's all on board with it. The only thing that sucks, makes me look a lot chubbier than I am with my hair. Whenever it's pulled back, I instantly look like I lost some weight. Once it comes down, it's like, man, he's got a big head. I mean, I do have a big forehead, but it's got to support the hair, like I like to say. So let's watch this. But thank you, everybody, for sticking around. I'm glad. I'm not even ready to leave yet. This might even hit 2 hours today. I'm not even joking. This could even be a 2-hour live today. So stick around. 113 people watching. Let's see who pays attention to the 40% capital gains proposed here and the unrealized gains. So let's pay attention.
Here now to weigh in on Biden's latest bonehead moves that are hurting our economic recovery even worse, chief economist, global strategist, and
FYI, I am not into politics, right or left. I couldn't give a rat's ass. They all play for the same team. The central banks run the world, but that's all I can say. That's all I can say. They're just trying to divide us. We need to be unified. But I'm gonna go away.
Founder of Schiff Gold, Peter Schiff, back on the program. Yeah. Peter, nice to see you again. I don't know, which bonehead move do you want to start with? Capital gains tax, the biggest increase in 102 years? I mean, so break that down for folks. So you make $1 million, and in this day and age, hate to say this, that isn't that much money anymore. We used to think it was tons of money. And you bought a property and you flip it, or you bought some stocks and you flip it, or whatever. Now you're going to pay almost 40%? The government's going to take almost half of my...
Problem is, a lot of capital gains are phantom gains because they're going to be inflated.
Okay.
Not even have a gain, but you're going to have a tax bill. But the worst part about the capital gain.
All right, after this, I do have to go because it is getting late. The kids are going to be going to bed. So it's been a nice long live, but I want to see, well, if you made it until the end, hashtag be better, do better in the comments. But we're going to watch this together.
Gains tax is that Biden wants to impose a 25% tax on unrealized capital gains, which is definitely unconstitutional because it's not an income tax. Because if you haven't realized the gain, you have no income subject to tax under the 16th Amendment. It's a property tax. You're taxing property, and property taxes are direct taxes. They're still bound by the rule of apportionment. They're not exempted through the 16th Amendment, so it would be unconstitutional. But it would also be economically destructive to try to force people to pay taxes on income they haven't even received. They'd have to sell their assets. Imagine having to appraise your illiquid assets every year and then have to pay some kind of tax without having the liquidity to actually pay it. It would be an economic disaster if that were to be passed.
Yeah, this is insane. There's no way this gets through. I mean, you just said it. It's unconstitutional. The government can't take taxes on something I haven't earned. What kind of idiot proposes a tax like this?
Can't call it an income tax. Look, the states can levy a property tax because the states are not bound by the rule of apportionment of direct taxes. But the federal government can't do that. That's why we don't have a federal property tax. Believe me, if they could get away with it, they would. But you can't disguise a property tax as an income tax by claiming, well, we're only going to tax the appreciation of the property. It doesn't matter. You haven't sold it. There's no income, so you're taxing the property. But the other problem with the corporate tax hike, nobody seems to understand. Corporations don't really pay taxes. They collect taxes. When you're talking about taxing a corporation, you're taxing the shareholders, you're taxing the employees and the customers. So that's the American public. One way or another, all corporate taxes are paid by the public. So if you're raising the corporate tax, you're raising the taxes on their employees, their shareholders, and their customers. That's it.
Yeah, and like I said, what corporation, if you do that kind of massive hike, would want to ever expand or do anything?
That's why they're also trying to raise the exit taxes. They know people are going to try to leave the country if this kind of stuff actually passed. Now, of course, it's not going to pass. At least, we've got some Republicans with some sense in the House. So this is just red meat to the base, right? The socialists that dominate the base of the Democratic Party, they want to soak the rich. Remember, the only reason we have an income tax is because the government promised that it was only for the billionaires. It was for the Carnegies and the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts. And it was only 4%.
Pay attention to this right here.
When it first started back in 1916. So the government lied to the public because as soon as they got the income tax passed, they started jacking up the rates. And then by the 1940s, they introduced a withholding tax. And the next thing you knew, everybody was paying the tax. So the same thing would happen. These taxes that are supposedly for the millionaires and the billionaires, that's just a camel's nose under the tent. Once you allow the nose in, the entire camel's coming in. It's just a pretense. Biden is going after the middle class because that's where the money is.
Yeah, did you hear that, folks? And Peter is so right. I want everybody to think about this because I know a lot of folks out there are struggling and they don't have the income of millionaires. Trust me, I get it, folks. I'm not a millionaire. I don't make $1 million a year. I get it. I'm struggling with this economy too. So when you're out there and you're feeling really upset and you're pointing the finger at really rich people going, yeah, they need to pay more, you know that there's more of us in the middle class. And Peter's right. They will put those taxes on us eventually if you keep electing Democrats because there's more of us. We will add up to a bigger amount in the coffers than a handful of the 1% millionaire billionaires. But people don't get that because they just hear that and go, yeah, tax the rich. But we won't get it. You will.
Yeah, one thing's important, though. When you tax the rich, you're not taking away the money that they would spend on consumption. They have plenty of money to have a good time. You're taking away the money that they would have invested in growing the economy, producing products, creating jobs, so you actually shoot yourself in the foot. It's the middle class and the poor that suffer more when you raise taxes on the rich. They just don't realize that.
Yep. Great point. Put this headline up, guys.
The only thing that's funny about this guy, watch at the very end. He always makes like this very over dramatic, like this little plea with Peter Schiff because it's over dramatic on how bad. Watch how his facial expressions and stuff. It gets actually pretty entertaining. And no, this guy probably makes $600,000-$700,000 a year. Maybe not $1 million, but he's getting close to at least $750,000.
Would. New poll says 70% of Americans believe the economy is going in the wrong direction. Let's hope that stays true through November. Do you think, Peter, folks are feeling this enough now across this country, even in blue states, to wake the hell up and say...
But again, the message is wrong. It's still you're voting for a politician. Like, I like Trump more, obviously, because when you have somebody like him, and if you're a worker, I've said this a million times, when Red's in the office, the working man gets more breaks. You get more benefits for going to work. When Blue's in the office, they push more towards the welfare, more towards helping people live. You know, that's coming from somewhere, but they're always looking to help. I don't want them to help with the damn thing. Stay away. Let me do it. I'm an adult. Let me do it. If I can't do it, well, that's on me. That's my only job in life, is to succeed at being able to live. And at that point, it's survival of the fittest. So, you know, we got to focus unified on the central banks, but that's neither here nor there.
Maybe we need to try something different come November.
Yeah, you know, the public usually gets it wrong, but here's an example where they get it right, because that's obvious. They know how their personal lives are doing. They're struggling. They're working 2 or 3 jobs to get the same income that they used to get from one job, yet they can't make ends meet. We got numbers today. The savings rate collapsed down to 3.2%. Inflation expectations rose. Spending went up, but not because people are buying more, but because they're paying more. That's why consumer confidence unexpectedly went down yet again. The voters know how bad this economy. We have a weak economy, and we have media and the Democrats are trying to sell, or even Wall Street. Everybody is sugarcoating the economy. We're in a recession. It's actually stagflation. We have a weak economy, and we have strong inflation. The worst of both worlds.
Yep. And the media and the Biden regime and Democrats keep trying to convince people it's going great. The economy's good. And thank goodness people are waking the hell up. Peter Schiff, as always, thank you, sir, for coming on. Appreciate you.
Right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in during this live this evening. I hope that was able to give you a little insight about what they're trying to do here. So have a blessed